All right. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to have a gentle meditation that's designed to get deep into the body brain, get deep into the musculature, and really start to open up spaces inside of the body where things might be stuck, where things might be uncomfortable. And just by bringing our awareness into these spaces, what ends up happening is this places that are numb, that we don't have an awareness of because uh, it's been that way for such a long time that when you start to feel something uncomfortable to begin with, it's obvious. But the longer that uncomfortability goes on, the more it goes numb into the background, and you don't have an awareness of where it's at. And what we're going to do is we're going to go wake those up and then start to shake them out and get them to release. So there's going to be a little bit of physical stretching inside of this. There's going to be definitely some energy work, but more importantly, there's going to be connection deep into the body brain. So let's go ahead and begin, always with our deep belly breathing. Relax your pelvic floor, relax the tummy, relax the chest, and as you inhale, stretch your tummy and your chest away from the spine. Big deep breaths in, and as you exhale, completely relax and let it drain back to zero. Now, as you inhale, start to follow the breath as it comes back through the nose. There's a feeling of wind that begins to swirl up through your face. And as you follow that back, you can feel how the sensation and the awareness creeps itself all the way back into the wind flowing in through the throat and finally into the lungs. As you inhale, turn this awareness up, almost like you've got a volume dial attached to it. And as you breathe in, make this awareness even more obvious. Exhale and relax, let it go. Nice and gentle. Nice and soft. Beginning to pay attention to how those sensations of wind show you right next to it muscles that are moving. By paying attention to the center of the body, by feeling that inner sensation, you can feel muscles moving around right next to it because you're aware of what's happening in that one place. Deep breaths in, stretch it open. Start to really blossom your awareness open to being inside of the bones that are shifting around the lungs. Feeling how the rib cage expands and opens and lets go. Feel how the muscles in between these ribs open up, become soft as they stretch and relax. Inhale, exhale. Beginning to turn the awareness of the skin up as it's moving underneath the clothes. Feeling it shifting, feeling it gliding. Turning up the awareness of the skin all the way down through the layers of tissue to the bones, to the inner landscape of the lungs as you breathe that river of breath, that flow, that movement. this awareness, we're going to put that gentle smile on our face. We're going to start to pull the smile into the body, a physical sensation that you can't think about. You have to feel. Deep breath in and pull that smile into the lungs. And relax, letting your body drain and let go. Deep breath in. Start to pull that smile into the skin, the muscles, the bones, as well as that flow inside of the lungs. It's almost like everything's a sponge. And as you inhale, you're pulling that liquid smile into all of these spaces. Exhale and feel anything tense or heavy beginning to drain out of the body, almost like the earth is sucking it out of you. It's like the gravity is pulling these paces down, pulling these spaces away and out of the body. Pulling in the smile, letting the sand drain out of your hourglass right into the fires of Gaia down below. All right, what we're going to do now is get a little bit of physical movement happening here. And the way that we're going to start this off is by stretching the muscles underneath the arms that go down into the hips. Take your hands, clasp them together, and lift it straight up above your head. You're going to take a big breath in. Exhale and lean to the side. Feel all of these muscles right here in between the ribs, underneath the armpit, connected into the shoulder blade. Everything's stretching. And once you feel like you've got that into a good space where you can really feel that stretching deep inside the body, big deep breath in. And feel how at the top of the breath you heighten this stretch, you make it stronger. And all those muscles that you feel that stretch, pull the smile right into. It's almost like these muscles right here are becoming sponges. And that stretching sensation shows you right where to go. Big deep breaths in. Exhale and drain that line all the way from the armpit down to the hip. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, shift to the other side. Big deep breath in, feel those muscles stretching. Exhale and relax. Big smile, pull it in. Exhale and drain down the side. Feel that tension releasing and letting go. Inhale, come to center. Let the arms drop down. Gently move the shoulders around, feeling the extra space, the extra room. And if you'll notice, everything down here feels pretty open. It feels soft. What about up here? What about the other side? This side is responsible for this motion. This side is responsible for this motion. And so when you have something tight on one side, oftentimes the other side is tight too because they're pulling against each other. So if we do the bottom, then we've got to do the top. So take your hand, put it behind your back. What you're going to want to do is almost like you're trying to worm your hand around your hip, just like this right here. See my fingers? Now I've got a steady base to hold my hand up against. And that way, when I lean my head to the side, see my right arm's behind my back right now, and I'm leaning to the left. It keeps my arm in position. It lets me get a really good stretch. Just gently move into the space, looking for that sweet spot, that point where it's definitely uncomfortable, but it's a good stretch. It feels good. And you're going to inhale and stretch your inside open. Feeling all the spaces that this tension starts to get stronger with that expansion of the breath. One more time. Now we know right where to breathe into. Big smile, pull it in. Exhale and drain that tension. Ah. Ah. Inhale, come to center, release the shoulder. Nice and slow, no jerky movements here. And gently move the shoulder around. Move the neck. Notice how much more room that you've got. And as you lift both shoulders together, there's a very obvious difference in the one that we just stretched out. We always want to mirror. If we do something on one side, we want to do it on the other. So let's go ahead and left arm behind the back, or if you used your left arm last time, then right arm this time. Get those fingers curled around the side of the hip. That way you've got a really good foundation. Grab a hold of the head. Deep breath in. And then bring it down. Stretch it open. Moving around, finding that sweet spot. That good stretch. Slightly uncomfortable, but no pain. If you're feeling an ouch, you're going too far. You need to stop and go right underneath that ouch. A place where if you push any more, it'll become uncomfortable, almost painful. And you gently touch right up to that point and then let go just a little bit. That's where that sweet spot is. Big deep breath in, feel where everything stretches. All right, let's bring the smile in. Big deep breaths. Exhale and drain those tight muscles. Let them release. Last one, inhale. Exhale, come to center. Release the shoulders. Slow movements, nice and soft. Gently move the shoulders, move the neck. Feeling all this extra space here. All right. Now the last two that we're going to do, it's going to focus on the front and the back of the chest. We've gotten the top and the bottom, and now what we're going to do is get the front and the back right here. So this is a really easy one most people know. Just put your arm in front of you and drag it over to the side right here, and you'll feel this stretch right here behind the shoulder blade and the deltoid. It's like you want to take your forearm, touch your elbow with it, and then that way you've got a straight pull directly into the shoulder. And what we're going to do is let that settle in, find where it's stretching, where it feels good. Deep breath in, stretching that internal landscape, making the stretch even deeper. Feel where all those muscles are connected in. One more time. A big smile, pull it into all these muscles. Exhale and dissolve that tension, drain it out. And I find the more I do this, the easier it gets to get deeper into the stretch. It's like you want to keep following right up and through that point of that good pain, that uncomfortability that feels like the ah. And if it lets go, stretch a little bit deeper. Exhale and release. Let the arm drop down. Circle it around, feeling how it feels even more loose now. Let's get the other side. Arm over the chest, trapping the elbow with your forearm, and pull it straight across, trying to keep your body in one spot and not letting it shift with the arm, but making the arm shift around the body. Let that settle in. Big deep breath. Feel all those muscles that are moving. Smile into the sponges of the body brain here. Deep breaths in. Last one. Exhale and slowly relax, letting the arms let go. Gentle, smooth movements, feeling the front, the sides, the top, and the bottom. Right here, the front should be pretty obvious. We've just loosened up the other three quadrants. And yet, right here, it feels kind of like just pulling the shoulders forward. It's because these muscles are tight. And oftentimes, these muscles are so tight that people don't recognize it, and it pulls the shoulders forward and causes back pain because everything on the backside has to pull you back in order to align. That's that tug of war that we were just talking about a little bit ago. So the front side of the chest, this is a really important place to stretch open. What I like to do is interlace my fingers, put them behind my head, and as I inhale, I'll pull my elbows back as far as I can while I'm looking up. So let me demonstrate real quick here. Deep breath in. And there's other ways to stretch the chest. This is one that you can do seated though. A really good way to do this is if you're walking through a doorway, just put your arms out to either side, and as you walk through, it'll pinion that right back and you'll get a really good stretch inside of the chest. Same exact thing if you do that like we've been doing here. You find that stretch, you settle into it, then deep breathe in and feel where everything's pulling, where everything's tight, and then you start to clean it out. Let's go ahead and get this one here. So deep breath in, pull the elbows back, look up. Big breath. Big breath in. All right, let's bring the smile into it now. Big breath in. And release. Let it go. Big smile. Pull it in. Last one. Big breath in. And relax. Go ahead and move the shoulders around. Move the neck. Recognize how much sensation you can experience in here now. Where before we started off with just feeling the breath inside of the lungs, that's easily felt. You just breathe in and it's there. But not just that, you have the feeling of the bones, of the muscles, of the skin tied in with that same sensation. And when we try to put so many sensations into the brain to process that it can't handle, we end up blanking out. This is why, if you ever have a fifth dimensional experience, it's so hard to remember because it's body language that that fifth dimensional experience was communicating with. And then all those sensations, as you try to put them into the brain, it overloads, it blanks out, the amnesia sets in. And what you're feeling right now are dozens of sensations in the body. Simple awarenesses, simple sensations, simple movements. And yet, the more you pay attention, the more those neuronal pathways are connected in. The easier it gets to the easier it gets to be able to speak directly to your body in a language that it understands. And the stronger that communication is, the more powerful the response is. The stronger your energy work is, the stronger the body becomes, the deeper inside of the body you can go. This is what fifth dimensional understanding is all about. It's embodiment. Everything out there that doesn't have a body, it already has a mind and a spirit. Why are we here? We have something they don't. That's why there's so much attention here. Live joyfully. Live beautifully inside of your body. Let the mind, let the spirit integrate inside of that beautiful temple. You've got this. Thank you so much for joining me.